Good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us this morning. I hope your day is off to a great start. We're going to jump right in this morning and continue on with our devotional theme, talking through some songs that we sing. And before we do that, I just want you to think a little bit about some of the stories in the Bible that were told and just kind of amazing, how amazing they are, right? And these are just a couple of them, but we think about Abraham, right? And the story that he was waiting, never had children, was unable to have children in his entire life until he gets very, very old. And then God makes him this promise that he's going to be the father of a great nation. And he's like, hey, how is this possible? And guess what happens? That's exactly what happens, right? He has children at late in his age, and they go to have other children, and it just becomes this huge nation of Israel, right? Or look at Joseph, right? Joseph, whose brothers don't really care for him, right? They sell him off, and he ends up in Egypt. And it just so happens that he ends up in the house of Pharaoh eventually, and he rises up to this place of power in Egypt in order that he might be able to help his fellow countrymen, his Israelites, when they're in a time of desperation. It's amazing to see how God worked that story. Or, the story of Ruth when she comes back from Moab with her mother-in-law Naomi, and they are really in tough shape. They have no husbands, and they are gleaning, and it just so happens that she ends up gleaning in a field of Boaz, who's her kinsman redeemer, and as a part of that, Ruth is a part of the genealogy of Jesus, right? It's amazing. Paul in the New Testament is this guy who's persecuting the church and who's not exactly friendly to the gospel, and Jesus appears to him in this amazing change. His life just changes dramatically in a matter of moments, and he goes on to become a very important part of the early church. And even for myself, and I would imagine for many of you as well, I can think of circumstances in my own life where I've seen just these miraculous things happen, just ways that God moves that we can't really quite explain. We've seen it here at Frankenmuth Bible Church. To see some of the things that he has done over the past 5, 6, 7 years has been really incredible. And so I just want to start out today by just reminding us of the fact that God is doing stuff. He's always at work behind the scenes. And it's really incredible. And today we're going to talk a little bit about a song called Waymaker. This is a great song that we sing a fair amount at Frankenmuth Bible Church. And in the chorus of the song, it says what? That God is a waymaker, a miracle worker, a promise keeper, a light in the darkness. It says, my God, that is who you are. And I just want you to think today for a few minutes about that fact. Because the fact of the matter is, God does make a way. God does work miracles. God does keep his promises. God does light the darkness. That is exactly who he is. And when we read the Bible, we can see that over and over and over again. And if we really look at our own lives, I bet you that you would see that as well. And so I want to really focus in on this part of the song where it says what? Even when I don't see it, you're working. Even when I don't feel it, you're working. You never stop. You never stop working. And it reminds me of the bridge from another song. I'm gonna steal a couple of lines from another song as well, called Not Done Yet. And that song says, you're up to something. You're up to something right now. You're doing a new thing right now. God, let your glory come down. Don't hold back. Don't hold back. And so both of these songs are just really working on the fact that sometimes for us in our human minds, we don't see the grand picture, right? And so we don't know exactly what God's doing. But the fact of the matter is, God is a way maker. He is a miracle worker. He is a promise keeper. Even when we don't see it, he is working. He's up to something right now. Our God is an active God. He doesn't sit around waiting for things to happen. And I know that I've seen him working in my life over the past couple of months in particular. It's been amazing to see the work that he's doing and what time with family has allowed us to do and just the growth that I'm experiencing. I hope that you can see it in your life as well. And so just today, I want you just to spend some time looking back at what he's been doing in your life. And I want you to spend some time looking for what he's up to right now. I want you to go to him in earnest prayer, and I want you to ask him and say, God, what are you doing? What are you up to? How can I join you in it? That's what I hope you can do today. Have a great day, everybody.